The announcement came early in the morning, quietly, almost too quietly for something so major. A single official poster was uploaded by the production company, and within seconds the entire internet exploded. Ji Chang Wook and Nam Ji-hyun were officially confirmed as the lead couple in a new dark romance film, one that industry insiders were already whispering could become one of the biggest hits of the decade. For fans who had waited years to see them reunite, the news felt unreal, like a gift they were never sure would actually arrive. What caught everyone off guard was the tone of the movie. This was not a light-hearted romance, not a healing drama, and not the kind of cheerful chemistry they had shown in the past. This film was described as a psychological, emotionally heavy, slow-burn love story, filled with obsession, longing, and impossible choices. The moment fans read the description, social media erupted. Hashtags trended in multiple countries. Edits resurfaced. Old behind-the-scenes clips went viral again. People started rewatching their previous work together, and casting articles instantly received millions of views. But while the world was celebrating, Ji Chang Wook and Nam Ji-hyun were quietly preparing. For them, this project meant something deeper, an opportunity to show growth, maturity, and sides of themselves they had never explored on screen. They both knew this film required vulnerability, intensity, and a level of emotional rawness that could change the trajectory of their careers. Ji Chang Wook arrived at the script reading first. He sat alone in the rehearsal room, flipping through the final pages of the script he had already read 5 times. It wasn't just the story that drew him in, it was the layers of emotion, the unspoken tension, and the way his character unraveled so slowly. He had always taken on challenging roles, but this one felt different. He found himself thinking about it late at night, replaying scenes in his mind, imagining how he would deliver certain lines. Then the door opened, and Nam Ji-hyun stepped inside. She looked different from the cheerful, bright image most people were used to seeing. Her hair was tied back, her expression focused, her hands holding a script covered with notes and color-coded highlights. She had come prepared, more than prepared. She had dissected her character down to the smallest detail. The moment their eyes met, something shifted. It wasn't quite chemistry. It wasn't nostalgia. It was something heavier, an unspoken understanding that this project might change everything. They greeted each other shyly at first. Years had passed since their last major collaboration, but the comfort between them was still there, even in silence. The director entered, smiling because he had seen this moment coming. He knew the world had been waiting for their reunion, but he also knew that what they were about to create could be something that would leave a deep impact on viewers. When the script reading began, the room fell completely silent. Only the sound of pages turning could be heard. Ji-hyun lowered her voice to match the tone of her character, and Ji Chang Wook's eyes never left her, not even once. He listened to every word, every breath, every pause. And when it was his turn to speak, she watched him with the same level of focus. Halfway through the script reading, the entire production team paused, stunned. Without rehearsing, without practicing together, their tone, rhythm, and emotional delivery synced effortlessly. The tension in the room was real. Their voices collided and intertwined as if they had already filmed together for months. Someone from the staff whispered, "This is dangerous. Their chemistry is too strong." But that was only the beginning. In the days that followed, they dove deeper into their characters. They met for private rehearsals, not because they were required, but because they wanted to understand the emotional complexity of their roles. Sometimes the rehearsals ended late at night, with both of them seated across from each other, the room dim, the script lying between them like the bridge that connected their worlds. There were moments of laughter, moments of frustration, and moments of surprising vulnerability. Whenever a difficult scene came up, one that required conflict or emotional exposure, Ji Chang Wook would gently ask if she was comfortable, and Nam Ji-hyun would nod, trusting him completely. Their working relationship, built on mutual respect and years of familiarity, grew stronger with each rehearsal. Then came the first filming day. The scene was intense, raw, and emotionally draining. It was a confrontation scene that demanded pain, fear, longing, and restraint all at once. As the camera rolled, they stepped into their characters fully. Their eyes locked, their voices trembled, and their emotions spilled out in a way that startled even the director. When the director yelled cut, The room stayed quiet for several seconds. No one could speak. Some staff members even got goosebumps. One assistant whispered to another, "This is award-level acting." Another whispered, "This is going to break the box office." By the second week of filming, rumors began circulating throughout the industry. Directors, producers, and major studios were already hearing about the intensity of their scenes. Some insiders claimed the two actors were pushing each other to new emotional depths. Others said the chemistry between them was unrepeatable, too natural, or almost dangerous. But rumors didn't bother them. They were too focused on the work, too invested in delivering something unforgettable. One evening, after filming a particularly heavy emotional sequence, Nam Ji-hyun returned to the break room alone. She looked exhausted, her eyes still red from crying in the scene. Ji Chang Wook walked in quietly, holding 2 warm drinks. He placed one in front of her without saying anything. She looked up, surprised, but grateful. They sat quietly for a moment. No cameras, no staff, no pressure. Just 2 actors sharing a moment of calm between storms. She looked at him and said softly, "This film is going to change things, isn't it?" He didn't smile. He just nodded slowly. "Yes, for both of us." And he was right, because something was beginning to shift. The line between acting and emotion was blurring. The connection between their characters began pulling them deeper, and even when the director yelled cut, traces of that intensity lingered in the air. The staff noticed it. The director noticed it. Even they noticed it. And as the filming continued, the boundaries between fiction and reality started fading more and more. And that was when the real story began. The first week of filming came and went, but the whispers around the set didn't fade. They grew. Every new day brought a fresh moment between Ji Chang Wook and Nam Ji-hyun that the staff didn't know how to explain, and honestly, they stopped trying. It wasn't co-stars getting comfortable. It wasn't actors bonding. Their connection was gaining a life of its own, drifting into something too intense, too quiet, too loaded. By day 8, even the director privately admitted to his assistant that he'd never seen energy like this from 2 leads before. Meanwhile, the media began circling. Headlines popped up everywhere. Unusual warmth on set. Nam Ji-hyun looks happy as she's been in years. Ji Chang Wook prepared too well for this role. But neither of them acknowledged any rumors. They didn't need to, because something was changing, slowly, deeply, between them. One night, after an exhausting emotional scene, the lights dimmed and the crew began packing up. Ji-hyun stayed sitting on the cold floor, catching her breath. The scene had taken so much out of her, she had cried for real, not for the camera. Ji Chang Wook noticed immediately. He walked over, knelt beside her, and gently offered her his water bottle. "You okay?" Ji-hyun let out a shaky laugh. "I thought I was, but that one hit a little too close." "You did amazing," he said quietly. "But don't hold it in alone. You don't have to." She looked at him, really looked at him, and in that moment, the soft studio lights caught something in his eyes she wasn't prepared for. Worry, warmth, something dangerously close to longing. The crew pretended not to see, but whispers spread like wildfire, especially because Ji Chang Wook didn't leave her side for the rest of the night. He walked her to her car. He waited until she got in safely. He watched her drive away. And what no one knew was that she checked her rearview mirror, saw him still standing there, hands in pockets, watching her leave, and she smiled the entire ride home. It was subtle. It was quiet. But it was the kind of care that didn't need to be announced. It was simply felt. The next morning, a new rumor hit the internet. Ji Chang Wook requested more late-night scenes with Nam Ji-hyun. Fans went insane. Industry insiders panicked. The production team said nothing. But the truth? It wasn't a rumor. He did request it, because those were the scenes he felt closest to her in. Scenes where the world was quiet, where the only thing that existed was the two of them, where acting blurred effortlessly into something neither of them dared to name. And Ji-hyun, despite knowing the risks, didn't object. Not even once. By week 2, their energy shifted again. It wasn't just chemistry anymore. It was tension. Unspoken. Magnetic. Whenever he stood too close, her breath hitched. Whenever she laughed, He looked at her like she was the only person in the world. Whenever someone else talked to her for too long, his jaw clenched just slightly. But the moment that changed everything came during a rehearsal. The script called for a simple moment. He places a hand on her shoulder. She turns around. They share a short stare. That was all. But when the time came, Ji Chang Wook didn't touch her shoulder. He touched her waist. Soft, steady, too intimate. Ji-hyun froze on the spot. The director didn't yell cut. No one moved. And instead of turning sharply like the script said, she turned slowly, almost afraid of what she might see in his eyes. What she did see didn't feel like acting. Not even a little. And what neither of them realized was that someone recorded it. A behind-the-scenes clip. Totally unplanned. Totally raw. And when that clip leaked online, fans lost their minds. People replayed the moment thousands of times. This is not scripted. Why does he touch her like that? The way she looks back, OMG, they're gone. I can't breathe, just date already. And while the internet exploded, the two of them had no idea. Because they were still inside, still standing too close, still holding that gaze that neither of them could break, still lost in something much bigger than them. Something that was going to change the rest of filming. And maybe their entire lives.